Hi, I'm Craig Phillips. In this video, I'm going to show you how to prepare, mix and lay this resin-bound pathway, installed and supplied by SureSet. SureSet resin-bound paving not only delivers a beautiful and durable surface, but also provides architects, designers and homeowners with great design flexibility, a wide range of colours as well as a huge selection of aggregates that combine to provide almost limitless design possibilities. One of the most critical aspects of a successful resin-bound installation is preparing the surface correctly. This area already has some loose stone down which was laid many years ago over a weed barrier fabric. I shaped this up and then applied a further 50 to 75 millimeters of MOT roadstone type 1. I spread the roadstone out with a rake, creating the levels required, and then heavily tampered the stone down using a mechanical whacker plate. The gradients of this area had a natural fall towards the back wall where a manhole cover was in situ. We replaced this with a modern sunken manhole cover, setting it into the brickwork on a bed of mortar. The resin will later be applied to the top rim of the cover. Once we laid the rest of the hardcore and created all the levels, we continued to tamper the surface with the whacker plate across the whole area for a number of hours, until we were satisfied that the base stone was solid enough to lay the resin directly onto. You need to make sure the surface is adequately cleaned, levelled and free from debris, as it can result in a poor adhesion and a weaker overall finish. SureSet's team arrived eager to train me on how to mix and lay resin correctly. We only needed a small team of 3. Jim was directing the project, Ben took charge of the mixtures, Darren raked the resin once it was poured and flattened the surface with his trowel. Between all 3 of them, they come with over 40 years experience and knowledge. The mixer that we're using is a forced action mixer. If you don't own one of these, you can always hire them for the day. Now it's important to have the correct mixing ratio. Resin-bound systems typically require precise mixing of resin and aggregate materials. If the ratios are not followed correctly, it can lead to an inconsistent mix, affecting the durability and the appearance of the final surface. So Jim, you and the guys have just arrived now. Yep. All the materials arrived yesterday. Tell me what we've got.
So what we're doing today is SureSet's 6mm barley butter blend.
Yep.
So what we've got here is a washed, dried, screened 2 to 5mm grade stone, and some sand, which goes in the mix.
And this is the blinding sand, isn't it? It's like a kiln-dried sand, is it?
Yeah, so it's a very small sand, and that's added into the blend to give it a bit more strength. Makes it easier to float, and it gives a bit of grip when we've actually finished the surface as well.
Okay, and what's this mixed with?
So the stone and sand is mixed with SureSet's polyurethane resin. It's a isocyanate and polyol 2-part system.
Yes.
And when that's cured, it goes completely clear, which brings out the nice colour of the stone we're using today. Yeah. It's a catalyst controlled.
That's to make it harden, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So we can control how quickly or how slowly that material basically goes off. And today we'll have about half an hour playtime for each blend.
And how's it all mixed together?
So we mix all this in a forced action mixer, and we'll be 3 bags of stone, bag of sand and the resin. In total that's about 90 kilos.
In one mix?
In one mix, yeah.
Oh wow, it's poured into a barrel, laid out and spread?
Yep, yeah. So today we're going to lay at 30mm depth, and each one of those 90 kilos will be about 1.5 square metres each.
All right, so there's a lot of mixing to do.
Yeah.
Great, well we better get on with it.
Yeah, let's get cracking.
Now the first mix is done and loaded into the wheelbarrow. It's tipped in small manageable sized piles which can easily be spread around with a flat edge rake. So see, you're just pouring it into 2 or 3 little small just patches.
2 or 3 piles.
Piles, yeah.
Then we'll rake it out, and then you can get on the float.
Yeah.
And smooth it out.
Okay. You can already see it's starting to kind of spread, can't you, self-level? Is that just with the liquid out the resin sort of thing making that happen?
Yeah, so it has a similar texture to tarmac.
Yeah.
It does hold itself together, so you can go around manhole covers and drain covers as well.
Yeah.
So you see, you're just going to spread it out to get 30mm on this stone.
Yes.
Feather it in with the existing stuff we've already floated.
And packed down there, yeah, and floated. I seen Darren sprinkling something on it. It looked like salt to me, but I know it wasn't. What was it?
Yeah, so it wasn't salt. It was a really fine glass grit. And so we sprinkle that on every surface we do, and that just gives a little bit of grip.
So this looks relatively easy in itself. Or is there a knack to it?
There is a knack to it. I can't spread this.
Okay.
But
it's not your strongest
it's
point.
not my strongest point, no.
Okay. Okay, well I'll have a go with that next, but I want to have a go with the shallow one first.
Try not to scrape the material, and then go in all different directions, up and down, side to side, to get it as flat as possible.
So the guys have been mixing and laying for about an hour now, and they've probably done about 15 square meters there, and it looks fantastic. But what really looks great is where this manhole cover was. It's filled in over the tops now, butt up right to the sides, all polished in, and it's virtually invisible. However, you might have noticed this reinforced mesh that they put around the grid first. That's straddling from where the brickwork is on the grid, where it goes onto the crushed up compact stone. They've also put a line of it across here where we've got a solid base, which is concrete, going onto the hardcore, which is compact down. And they've just put that in the centre to bridge across it. So when the resin sails across there, it reduces the chances of cracking in the future. By combining the superior clean resin and premium quality natural aggregate, marble and recycled materials, SureSet offer you the highest quality resin bound paving that is permeable, durable, UV stable, smooth and accessible, easy to maintain and SUDS compliant. When installed by a SureSet team, approved installer or global partner, the installation is backed by their 21-year guarantee. So we're coming up to the second manhole cover here. I've laid the resin and I'm just pressing it down to butt up to the edge, and then put my weight on it and pull it back. Same again on there. And this manhole cover is a little bit different than the other one. It's got a plastic cover, of course, and it's flush, so we only need to butt up to the sides. Now, whenever you are going around anything like a manhole cover like this, of course you've got a stop edge here, and that must be the minimum depth of what you're laying down on the floor, which ours on this situation is 30 millimeters. So the hardcore is compacted down, and we've got a 30 mil stand up on there, and this is going to be just as strong as one of the edges of the walls are when you put your resin up to it. SureSet Resin Systems are committed to providing you with consistently high quality products. The strength of the product is in the resin technology itself and is available for installers to be able to offer value for money and excellent installation services. Their trade and DIY products all contain the high level quality materials and resin that are used in all their approved installations. However, they are not covered by the 21-year guarantee. I've just arrived on site the day after we laid the resin, and I've got to say I am super pleased with the finish. Not only does it look brilliant, it is solid. It really has exceeded my expectations. Now, it's been raining all night and it's very, very wet now to touch. It's still raining now, in fact. But I'm going to do the water challenge with it, because I'm led to believe no matter how much water you pour on this, it's permeable. It'll just go right the way through, literally within seconds. So this bucket is probably about 60 litres of water. Here goes. It's in, it's all running that way because the fall goes that way. 6 seconds and it's completely gone through that full bucket of water. That is brilliant. Now that doesn't feel any wetter than over here where it's been raining on, of course. That is brilliant. And that's how you install a resin-bound pathway. Now, if you'd like to check out the vast range of different style resin finishes that you can pick from, just visit the website, sureset.co.uk.